concept of Christ in Synoptic Gospels. Concept of Christ in Synoptic Gospels. The theological concept of Christ in Synoptic Gospels. In this unit, we shall examine the concept of Christ. We shall examine the concept of Messiah and relate the two. In this unit, we will examine the incidents at Caesarea Philippi as an illustration of what Jesus Christ himself said and confirmed about the concept of Christ. And then references have been made to certain events during the Passion Week. The concept of Christ. The coming of Jesus Christ, the Messiah, was foretold in the Old Testament, such as in Isaiah chapter 9 to chapter 11. Christ himself is the subject of the Synoptic Gospels. Christ was projected as the only Son of God by God himself. Christ means Messiah. Christ means Messiah, which means, or as well refers to, the Anointed One. And so the relationship between the term Christ and Messiah is simply one, that both refer to the Anointed One. Christ is otherwise known as the Anointed One. Messiah is equally known as the Anointed One. Jesus Christ acknowledged himself as the Christ, as evidenced in the circumstance in which he admitted Peter's confession at Caesarea Philippi. You find this narrative in Matthew chapter 16, verse 13 to 23. For instance, a part of it reads this way. When Jesus came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, "What do men say that I, the Son of Man, am?" What do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? This is King James Version, please. And they said, "Some say that thou art John the Baptist, some Elias," in some translation it will read Elijah, and others Jeremiah, in other translation to be pronounced Jeremiah, or one of the prophets. He said unto them, "But whom say ye that I am?" Jesus said unto them, "But who say ye that I am?" And Simon Peter answered and said, "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus answered and said unto him, Blessed art thou, Simon Barjona, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. He said unto them, But whom say ye that I am? And I say also unto thee, that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. This is King James version of Matthew chapter 16, verse 16 thereabout. Here we have in clear terms the conversation between Jesus and his disciples concerning his identity. And by revelation, Peter declared him as Christ. Jesus Christ himself confirmed that to be true. On the basis of such confession, the church is established. In addition, Christological insight is further highlighted in the following circumstances. 1. At his trial before the Sanhedrin, Matthew 26, verse 63 to 64. And then when Pilate questioned him in Matthew 27, verse 11. In this unit, we have examined the concept of Christ. We equally examined the concept of Messiah. We related the two terms, Christ and Messiah. And we said the two terms refer to one thing, the Anointed One. We also drew our attention to the great confession at Caesarea Philippi, as recorded in Matthew chapter 16, verse 13 to 26, where Peter confessed that Jesus Christ is Christ, and Jesus himself confirmed that. Thank you for listening.